settle in to their seats, please. Get cozy. I know space is a little bit limited. But we're all friends and family here, aren't we? Yeah. All right, good. How's everyone doing? Come on, we're in beautiful Antigua and Barbuda. Remember the rainy start that we had? Yeah. Bright and beautiful sunshine this morning. All right. Thank you very much, Maria. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Let me first acknowledge the fact that you are here. I'm very happy to see that we have such a packed room of media professionals here in Antigua and Barbuda for the CHTA Marketplace, so welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. So this will be the very first press conference of the morning in a series of press conferences that we'll be having, so that you can get the absolute best information from all of those officials and tourism insiders that are gathered here for CHTA Marketplace. Let me acknowledge the members of our head table, and the first press conference, of course, has to do with the Antigua and Barbuda tourism product, the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority. So let me say a warm welcome to Antigua and Barbuda's Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation and Transportation, the Honorable Charles Fernandez. Welcome, Minister. Then we have the CEO of the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority, Mr. Colin James. We will have a presentation from him a little bit later after Minister. And then Craig Marshall, he is the president of the Antigua and Barbuda Hotels and Tourism Association, which has played a major role in getting your presence here in collaboration with the Caribbean Hotels Association. Let me also acknowledge the presence of the directors of tourism for the Caribbean and Latin America, Charmaine Spencer. She's in the room with us this morning. Welcome, Charmaine. Also, Director of Tourism for Antigua and Barbuda for Canada, Tamika Wharton. She's here as well. Welcome, Tamika. Director of Tourism the UK and Europe, Sherry Osborne, here as well with us. And Director of Tourism USA, Dean Fenton. He is somewhere around. I'm not sure if... Oh, right, no, there he is. Mr. Dean Fenton, so welcome, Mr. Fenton. And the entire Tourism Authority team, thank you for being here this morning. So we're going to open this morning's presentation, and we will hear from Mr. Marshall, Craig Marshall, who, as I said, is the president of the Antigua Barbuda Hotels and Tourism Association. Craig?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 43rd version of CHTA Marketplace. I must say it is such a pleasure to welcome you all to Antigua and Barbuda, and having moved to the Caribbean close to almost 12 years ago, I never thought that we would be able to have a huge destination event such as this in one of what we perceive as a small island. I think that it is a testament to the Tourism Authority, the private sector, which is our hotel association, and also the Ministry of Tourism, in order to be able to host such an event. I think that within Antigua and Barbuda, we tend to punch above our weight within the region, just in terms of the way that we are able to host this event, and also the way that we behave in terms of our tourism model. We work so closely with the public sector, and that is a testament in terms of our results. And I'm sure Mr. James, to my right here, is going to show you some fantastic results in terms of our visitor arrivals. We want to welcome you all to our shores. I'm sure if you were at our event last night that you saw a little bit about what we are, and also within our resorts, just the diversity of what we have. So we welcome you here today, and the success of the event as well is all testament to you being here as well today. So welcome, and acknowledgement as well, obviously, to the Minister of Tourism, Mr. James, and most importantly at the back where we see all of our directors that work out very hard in our fields, Tamika, Charmaine, Dean, Sherry, and their teams most importantly. I think this is just the beginning. You'll probably see that Antigua in the next 3 to 4 years will start to host large events. And those events will be on an international scale. So it's just the beginning in terms of what we've got. So thank you very much, and enjoy your stay with us in Antigua and Barbuda.
And just a quick reminder that this, of course, is a press conference, so there'll be the opportunity, we'll have a roaming microphone, so thereafter the presentations, we will have the opportunity for you to ask your own questions, of course. And so let me call on now the Honourable Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation and Transportation, the Honourable Charles Fernandez, to address you.
Good morning, everyone. He said address, but I think he meant remarks. Let me just start by thanking Craig for his remarks, but to remind him that it's not 3 or 4 years. We have the OAS meeting in the first week of June, and we have Shogam, which is the Commonwealth heads. That is going to be about close to 5,000 coming. We got actually notification that there may be a few very high-end leaders coming into Antigua. So that's a tip for you media people that are here, that if you have to put aside some time, next year you got to put it aside for Antigua again. Again, thank you for coming to Marketplace. We really appreciate our friends with the media, because you are the ones that would carry the story of Antigua and Barbuda and the Caribbean by extension. We really, really appreciate you here, and we appreciate the work that you do. We depend on tourism so heavily. Tourism actually is more than the lifeblood of Antigua and Barbuda. It's just about almost everything for Antigua and Barbuda. We had a number of challenges that you would have heard, and some of them you might not have heard about. But again, we are Caribbean people. We are very resilient, and we are accustomed to challenges. I mean, you can't live here and face all those hurricanes and not being able and bounce back and say you can't handle challenges. So I want to give recognition to all of those folks who worked really hard to put this place together, bearing in mind the floods we had on Sunday. So once again, I just wanted to recognize the work that they've done. I also want to applaud the efforts by the Tourism Authority. Mr. James and his team have done a tremendous job in getting this place together, and I'm sure when everybody leaves, they will realize that, as Mr. Marshall has said, we tend to punch above our weight, and that's something that we are proud about. Yesterday we had a forum on sustainability, and just to remind everyone, for those that weren't here, that apart from the fact that we were the first to ban single-use plastics, styrofoam products banned, and in addition to that, of course, we're doing work to restore coral reefs. We are also doing a great job in Barbuda, and of course, the icing on the cake was Redondo, or is Redondo, what we have been able to transform that little island to. So that was important, but I think also it was important for us to understand that people are part of the sustainability, all the people that work in the industry, and we have to continue to recognize them, because without them, this industry would not operate. So when we speak about sustainability, we got to understand we have to put our people first, and that's something that we'll always advocate for. I don't have much more to say except to remind everyone about tomorrow night, the closing ceremony, and Craig here says he's going to leave early to rest up because he's planning to have a great night tomorrow night. So once again, we invite in all of you tomorrow night, and we thank you for being here, and we want you to continue to spread the news, the great news about Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. We'd also like to acknowledge the presence of, as well, of two important persons in the room in terms of our Chairman of the Antigua and Barbuda Hotels and Tourism Authority Board, Mr. Vernon Jeffers, welcome, and of course the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, a former teacher of mine, Lucilla Joseph, welcome. We'll now call on, besides being the finest dresser in the room, He's also my boss. The CEO of the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority will give you some fine details about the performance of Antigua and Barbuda as a tourism destination. It gives me great pleasure in welcoming the CEO of the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority, Mr. Colin James.
Thank you very much, Andy. Good morning, everybody. How are you feeling? Okay, and if you,
That's my Jamaican friend, right?
I want to give a special shout out to journalists. You guys are close to my heart. You know why? Because you help us tell our story. I see the indomitable Janet Silvera from the beautiful island of Jamaica. I call Janet a Jamtigan because, you know, we are very similar. And Antigua, with its large population of Jamaican migrants, is known as the what? 15th province? 15th parish? 15, yeah, so we're happy to have you, Janet. Also, I see Mr. Graham McKenzie. Graham was the first journalist to arrive. And so I think we need to applaud him for his love for Antigua and Barbuda and for the content support. I am just the cat in the hat. And as the folks who know British history will know, there was this famous king called Henry VIII. So as he said to one of his numerous wives, I shall not keep you long. I will have a short presentation, but I will show you all that's happening in Antigua and Barbuda. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our destination update. We're proud to be hosting the 43rd edition of Caribbean Marketplace right here in beautiful Antigua and Barbuda. It's the region's largest, most business-to-business event. And as you've walked through the halls and seen the meetings that are taking place, we're extremely proud. There are actually over 9,000 meetings that have been booked for the 2 days that we're here. So that is a phenomenal testament to the business-to-business relationships that we're able to cultivate with this event. It's the first for us, so we're particularly proud to host. We are small, but as we say in this island, we're little, but we talawa. We are punching well above our weight. And so we continue to strategically position Antigua and Barbuda as a go-to destination, as a place where people come for memorable experiences. So how are we doing? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about major investments, what's new for Antigua and Barbuda. And as Minister alluded to, sustainability, that's key for us, and upcoming events that are happening later this year. Fastest growing service-based economy in CARICOM. The only destination not growing faster than ourselves is Guyana, and Guyana has oil. But 70%, ladies and gentlemen, of our GDP comes from the industry that we call tourism. So it's close to our heart. Our people depend on it. Over 12,000 jobs, or about a third of our workforce employed in industry. So it's absolutely critical that tourism does well. For wherever tourism goes, that's where the nation goes. And in 2024, we had a remarkable year. We had over 1.2 million visitors coming to Antigua and Barbuda. So ECLAC said the GDP growth for Antigua and Barbuda was 6.1%, and this year we are forecasting 3.5%. So still continuing to grow, still continue to be a strong destination as it relates to the tourism industry. So how are we doing as the year progressed? We have, at the end of March, the first quarter, we have clocked 103,000 stay-over arrivals, and that compares to 97,000. So last year being our best year ever, where we had over 330,000 air arrivals, this year we are well on track to surpass last year's record growth in tourism. So it's something that we are particularly proud of, and particularly down to the hard work that's been led by Minister Fernandez and the directors in the overseas offices, the team here. There is a close collaboration in Antigua and Barbuda between the public and the private sector, which we have the recipe for success. And you see it being on display here for Caribbean Marketplace today. Where do our visitors come from? Well, 50% of them actually originating out of the United States. So for the first quarter, we had over 51,000 US visitors, 12,000 from Canada, Europe still very strong, 30,000, and the Caribbean as well, coming up very strong as a source markets for visitors to Antigua and Barbuda. So what we have been doing is diversifying, ensuring that as you have geopolitical fallout, we are making sure that we are not having all our eggs in one basket, and we're really focusing particularly on the emerging markets. You see Latin America as well continuing to grow with some focus for us for that particular market. How many of you saved some trees when you arrived and completed your arriveantigua.com? How did you find it? By a round of applause. Was it good? Easy. It's one of the easiest access portals into any Caribbean destination. You don't have to download an app. 72 hours before you get here. It's a step-by-step. You load in your information. You actually just take a picture of your passport. It loads up all the data, so you don't have to key it in. You take a nice selfie. It loads it all up, but it's efficient. It's effortless. You get a QR code, and you present it to immigration. You present it to customs. And on your way out, guys, you present the same QR code on the immigration and the outbound. So we wanted to make it, as easy as possible, as efficient as possible. We took a while to get here, but we ensured that the system that we got was AI powered and really, really using technology to make sure that the first experience that you have of our destination is a memorable one and a positive one. Major investments. Our airport, International VC Bird International, I think is still the newest airport in the Eastern Caribbean. It is and the best Category 1 facility. We have major flights for most of the major metropoles, but we're undergoing some multi-million-dollar renovation that's starting this year, making sure that the runway is up to par, keeping to the international standards. We are the only runway in the Eastern Caribbean that has what's called a RISA, a runway extension safety area. So the largest birds that fly can land at VC Bird International. Our cruise port, we are now big into home porting, and we have a new cruise terminal that's under construction that will be ready for the start of the season this year. Nikki Beach Resort and Spa, 82 hotel rooms with 181 luxury residences. The first phase of that project has begun and really moving forward so that we continue to cement our space in the mid to the upper end of the market. The Marriott Leisure World Hotel at Yepton's, that's a 114-key hotel with over 8 over-the-water villas that's coming, and we started that trend. We see it at the Blue Diamonds Resort, at Royalton, and at Chic, where the over-the-water bungalows, and Craig can attest to that, are always sold out. They're constantly in demand, and so we have introduced that aspect to our hotel product, but done it in an aesthetically pleasing way, tasteful way, so it does not impede the beautiful 365 beaches that we have in this destination. Moongate Hotel and Spa. We'll show you a little video on that shortly. But it's a luxury boutique comprising 71 suites set across 9 buildings, and additional 2-bedroom villas are coming. But again, catering to the part of the market that is recession resilient and enables Antigua and Barbuda to earn top dollar from our tourism industry. Moongate. Ladies and gentlemen, Moongate on the beautiful crescent-shaped Half Moon Bay beach in Antigua and Barbuda, one of our beautiful, top beaches, which has been voted one of the 10 most beautiful beaches in the world. Thank you. Okay, we spoke about major investments in Antigua, but let's shift a little across the water to Barbuda. I don't know how many of you have had the opportunity to go to Barbuda, but Barbuda is expanding in a major way. We now have an international airport designated for Barbuda, where there will be direct flights that get to Barbuda, don't necessarily have to transit through Antigua. There's a runway extension. The new airport terminal was rolled out in October of last year, and Barbuda has the famous airport code of BBQ. So we're going to have a lot of fun in marketing BBQ for those folks who like to put some stuff on the grill. Yeah, Barbuda Cruise Port, again, building out so that Barbuda can be in a position to welcome the small luxury cruise lines, which are really in keeping with our destination and the type of visitors that we go after. Barbuda Ocean Club, again, the Nobu Beach Club. Barbuda has the only Nobu resort in the entire Eastern Caribbean. I think bar Puerto Rico, there is no other Nobu resort in the region, and it is the only resort that has the accolade of you can actually take a swim in the famous Princess Diana Beach between your courses. I see Sarah smiling because she is on my list to get over to Barbuda. So again, construction in progress, a lot's been going on in the destination, and Barbuda is not being left behind in our tourism development.